You ever notice how some of the strongest people you know have gone through the darkest seasons imaginable? The people who inspire others the most usually aren't the ones who had easy lives. They're the people who lost everything and still kept going. They're the people who got betrayed, abandoned, rejected, heartbroken, humiliated, and somehow came out wiser instead of bitter. And that raises a difficult question. If God loves you, then why does God allow suffering in your life at all? Why the heartbreak? Why the delay? Why the loneliness? Why the anxiety? Why the pain that shows up right when life finally starts feeling okay? Because let's be honest, most people don't struggle with believing in God when life is easy. The real struggle begins when prayers seem unanswered, when life feels unfair, when pain lasts longer than expected. But here's the crazy part. What if the suffering you're trying to escape is actually shaping the person you're meant to become? And by the end of this video, you'll understand why some of the hardest moments in your life may actually have more purpose than the comfortable ones. Why God allows suffering instead of constant comfort. Most people believe love means protection from pain. But real growth has never come from comfort. Think about it. Muscles grow by tearing. Diamonds form under pressure. Gold is purified in fire. Nothing valuable develops without resistance. And this is where most people misunderstand suffering. They assume pain means God abandoned them. But sometimes pain is evidence that God is developing strength inside you that comfort never could. Because comfort rarely changes people. Pain does. Pain forces reflection. Pain reveals weakness. Pain exposes priorities. Pain humbles ego. That breakup you cried over for months? It may have saved you from years of misery. That opportunity you lost. It may have redirected your future. That painful season you wanted to escape? It may have built emotional strength you desperately needed. Sometimes God allows suffering because your current mindset cannot carry your future purpose. Why bad things happen to good people? This is one of the oldest questions in human history. Why do bad things happen to good people? And honestly, nobody has every answer. But one thing becomes very clear over time. Pain is not always punishment. Sometimes pain is preparation. Sometimes pain is protection. Sometimes pain is redirection. Sometimes pain is refinement. But here's where things get interesting. Most people only judge situations by the present moment. We assume if something hurts right now, it must automatically be bad. But life doesn't work that way. Imagine a child getting angry at a doctor during surgery. The child sees pain. The doctor sees healing. Perspective changes everything. Many moments that feel cruel in the present later make perfect sense. The friendship ending. The failure. The closed door. The delay. Years later, you often realize those painful moments protected you from paths that would have destroyed your peace. But in the middle of suffering, it's hard to see beyond the pain. The hidden purpose behind pain. Now this next part might surprise you. Suffering has a way of exposing what success hides. When life is easy, people can avoid confronting themselves. But pain forces honesty. You suddenly see who truly supports you. You discover what actually matters. You realize how fragile certain parts of your identity really are. And this is why spiritual growth through suffering can become so powerful. Because pain strips away illusion. You stop caring as much about fake validation. You stop chasing shallow things. You stop pretending everything is okay. Instead, you begin searching for deeper meaning. And if you look at almost every powerful story in history, there's usually suffering before transformation. Joseph was betrayed before becoming a leader. David fought battles before becoming king. Moses wandered through the wilderness before fulfilling his purpose. Even Jesus suffered. The Bible never promises a painless life. It promises purpose within suffering. That changes the entire conversation. Because now pain becomes more than random misery. Now suffering becomes part of growth. Why faith during hard times changes you. Anyone can have faith when life is easy. That's not difficult. The real test comes when life stops making sense. When you pray and nothing changes. When doors keep closing. When disappointment becomes exhausting. That's where faith during hard times becomes real. And this is where most people make a mistake. They think faith means never feeling fear, sadness, anger, or confusion. But real faith is continuing forward despite those emotions. Faith is not pretending everything feels good. Faith is saying, I don't understand this season, but I refuse to believe my pain is meaningless. That's real strength. And strangely enough, Difficult seasons often deepen people spiritually more than easy seasons ever could, because pain makes people search deeper. It forces important questions. Who am I without success? Who am I without validation? What truly matters? What kind of person am I becoming? Those questions change people. Why God allows pain before major growth? Have you ever noticed life often gets hardest right before something changes? That's not always coincidence. Transformation is uncomfortable. Think about how uncomfortable growth is in every area of life. Athletes suffer through brutal training. Students struggle before mastering difficult subjects. Entrepreneurs fail repeatedly before succeeding. Growth requires resistance. So why would spiritual growth be different? But here's where things get interesting. Most people quit during the process. They assume struggle means failure. Meanwhile, struggle may actually mean growth is happening. The pain may not be destroying you. It may be rebuilding you. And many people later look back at their hardest seasons with unexpected gratitude. Not because the suffering felt good, but because the suffering changed them forever. Why suffering exposes hidden attachments? Pain reveals what controls you. You don't realize how attached you are to approval until rejection happens. You don't realize how addicted you are to control until life becomes uncertain. You don't realize how fragile your confidence is until failure humiliates you. Suffering exposes hidden weaknesses. And while that feels uncomfortable, it can completely transform your life. Because many people spend years avoiding truth. Pain forces truth into the open. That's why some people become wiser after suffering. They stop living superficially. They become more compassionate, more grounded, more emotionally mature. Ironically, some of the people with the deepest peace are the people who suffered the most. Because suffering changed what they value. Trusting God in difficult times feels impossible. Sometimes, let's be honest for a moment. People love saying things like, just trust God. But when you're overwhelmed, anxious, heartbroken, lonely, or mentally exhausted, trusting God in difficult times can feel impossible. And that doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Some of the strongest people in the Bible struggled emotionally. David cried out in frustration. Job questioned everything. Elijah became exhausted and discouraged. Struggle itself is not failure. Giving up completely is. And this next part matters. Many people think God only works through miracles, but often, God works through process. Slow growth, slow healing, slow transformation. That's frustrating because humans want instant answers. But deep healing usually takes time. Real wisdom takes time. Real maturity takes time. Real emotional strength takes time. And unfortunately, suffering is often part of that process. Why some people break and others become stronger? Two people can go through identical pain and end up completely different. One becomes bitter, the other becomes wiser. One gives up, the other grows stronger. So what creates the difference? Meaning, people can survive unbelievable hardship when they believe there is purpose behind it. That's why understanding why God allows suffering matters so much. Because if pain feels meaningless, it destroys hope. But if suffering can teach you, shape you, redirect you, strengthen you, then hardship becomes part of transformation instead of the end of your story. And this is why perspective matters so much. Some people ask, why is this happening to me? But stronger people eventually begin asking, what is this trying to teach me? That question changes everything. The pain you hate may be preparing you for your future. Now, this next part is powerful. There are qualities people admire most that can only be developed through hardship. Patience, resilience, wisdom, humility, compassion, mental strength. Nobody develops those accidentally. They are built through pressure. And maybe that's why some seasons feel unbearably difficult. Maybe life is preparing you for responsibilities your current version isn't ready to carry yet. Maybe the delay is developing discipline. Maybe the heartbreak is developing wisdom. Maybe the loneliness is teaching independence. Maybe the failure is building resilience. Because sometimes the person you're becoming matters more than the comfort you're losing. And once you understand that, suffering stops looking completely meaningless. It still hurts. But now the pain has direction. Now the struggle has purpose. Now the suffering becomes part of your transformation. Remember the question from the beginning? Why do the strongest people often go through the hardest battles? Because pressure creates strength that comfort never can. And maybe the suffering you're experiencing right now is not proof that God abandoned you. Maybe it's proof that your story is still unfolding. Maybe one day you'll look back at this painful season and realize it built the strength, wisdom, and faith you needed for the next chapter of your life. If this video helped you see suffering differently, then you'll definitely want to watch the next video where I break down the signs God is preparing you for something bigger. And if you enjoy conversations like this, hit subscribe and stick around, because sometimes one new perspective can completely change the way you survive difficult seasons.